When I first came to the US, I was a teacher in Brazil. I came here with my student visa in order to study and improve my English. So my plans were to stay here a few months, but my first day I met Luciano.
Our relationship just took off really fast, and within a few months we were living together. We knew that it wasn't in God's heart for us to live together, but we just were blinded by all the excitement, and we rationalized that decision from every possible angle. It wasn't until a few months down the road that God really started knocking on our hearts. We went to visit my aunt, who is a strong believer. Immediately put us in separate rooms.
His aunt kept telling us that we should take the premarital class and maybe try to move apart.
So when we came back, we placed the first Calvary CD on our car and we're listening to it. Pastor Bob is talking about premarital classes. As soon as we came to the first service and we opened the Calvary Connection, there he was again in big bold letters, premarital class, registration. Let's just go ahead and see what this premarital class is all about. The first class, Pastor Doug went on and on about the fact that we shouldn't live together and we shouldn't have a physical relationship before we got married. So we decided to stay after the first class and maybe talk to a pastor and explain that our case was different.
Pastor Charlie explained to us the importance of move apart and show to our kids one day that we're willing to do God's will, not our own will. So I remember we said, okay, let's pray about it, but I don't think there is, a way that we're gonna move apart.
We prayed for 3 days, and on a third day, the answer came through a scary phone call from our attorney. She had just finished a semester in one school, and we were just transferring her from one school to another. Well, the problem was that the school that she was transferring to was being investigated and had been shut down by the Department of Homeland Security. Apparently, students were registering to the classes but never showing up, and they take that very seriously. Even though we hadn't done anything wrong, nobody could promise me that she wouldn't be dragged into this mess. So I decided to call one of my good friends for advice, and he said, if you want take an extra step to have some peace, you can have Veronica move out for a few months, maybe just until you guys get married. And I thought that was bad advice. We hadn't done anything wrong. So as I left my office and I got in my car, this overwhelming peace comes over me. I remember what I heard was, you prayed for an answer, and here it is. And right there, I broke down and started crying because I knew that was God answering our prayers, and He had engineered this, situation in order to show us how to please and bring Him glory. So, I drove home, and as soon as I got home, I sat down with Veronica.
I knew that we're willing to do God's will on our lives, but at the same time, I knew that was going to be a really challenging time for us. I think that made me realize that, no matter what, I know that was a really hard time, but I knew that God was with me, and He wanted my best,
We went from living together and having a physical relationship to completely, moving apart and doing exactly what God wanted for us to do.
We started praying every night together. We started reading the Bible and reading some Christian books about relationships. We weren't focused on our relationship as a couple. We were more focused on building a relationship with God.
But I felt that throughout this challenge, God was shaping, molding us, and preparing us for the journey that was about to come.
So I came to my wedding day with this amazing feeling, knowing that the man I was choosing to spend the rest of my life with was willing to sacrifice his own flesh and his own desires in order to please God. So I think that this is the main thing that every woman should look for in their future husbands.
Now, every decision that we make and everything that we do in our lives, we understand how important it is for us to, try to understand what God's heart is, and also we understand the benefits and the blessings that will come by doing so.